Hello everyone.
Long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. We have a new filming setup. If you haven't seen, maybe we'll take you on a tour eventually when we perfect it. It's kind of a mess. We've got some cool shit in the background and I like it. So real quick before we get into it, just a mini disclaimer. So sorry for disappearing. I do not know in which order these videos will be coming. So we set a game plan for ourselves. We said we're gonna film, and then once we film multiple videos and once we get back into the groove of filming, then we will post them.
Then we
won't tease. We won't tease you any longer.
So hopefully we'll have a fair bit of consistent content up so that we can continuously post. We were both going through this like
The phase.
you know, like not quite
Normally
depression.
it's one or the other and we can like pull each other from it.
We can figure it out, but we weren't able to, and I think it's because I lost sort of my favorite artistic, part of myself, and I'm sort of rediscovering it now, and it's been kind of fun. So I think putting it back on YouTube might be also fun for both of us.
So we'll see how it goes. We will save the rest of the disclaimers for like a dedicated video or
Get ready with
whatever. But we are starting up a new project pan today. I'm gonna
Some of the like a project pan-ish.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna project pan-ish, a loose project pan, that kind of thing. So if you're interested in seeing the items we chose, then please just keep on watching.
So I have sort of my acrylic bucket in front of me. This is sort of my everyday drawer. I have Orc Temper in here, mainly because I use this every day. Random update on this product. So the cream has stopped creasing on me. It's a little more like
Dry.
clayish. It feels clayish when I touch it. And it's been lasting really, really well. And it's that perfect deepish, reddish, bronzish color on me to where it works with colorful shadows, with neutral shadows, but it's the perfect base for that one wash of like neutral on my eyes. Like the look that I have on today is essentially something similar to what I've been wearing recently. So it's like perfect for that, and I love the topper shadow in it, so I just have this in here. And I want to see kind of what kind of dents come out of it. I also wanted to, because I want to finish up my Colourpop Super Shock Shadow in Frog. This is one of my favorites. It's cracked as hell, and it looks like it's been through shit, And I just want to use it up so I can get like a fresh one. If possible. I hope to God Colourpop still makes it. I hope to God.
We'll find out.
But I thought it would go great with this little e.l.f. rosewater stack. I never use this thing, but given the kind of makeup that I've been wearing, I think this might actually be an easier one for me to get use out of. Plus I know the pans are kind of shallow, and so I just want to see like what kind of use I can get out of it.
It's got a lot in here.
I have a lot. These are less project pan items and more like I'm trying to get reacquainted to the formula and trying out like a new sort of technique I've been using. So I watched Hannah Louise post and uploaded a video of like her shiniest eyeshadows. And in that video, she pulled out the Pat McGrath Midnight Sun palette. And I said, hold up, when did Hannah Louise post and get the Pat McGrath Midnight Sun palette? Because I've been thinking for years, Hannah needs to get the Pat McGrath Midnight Sun palette. That's like perfect for her. I see her vision in that. And so I, myself, was inspired to reuse this palette after watching her video. And I do use it like fairly often, not like all the time, but
it's pretty beat up.
It's
an expensive palette.
I see it in a more useful way now, and I actually like these three metallics more than I have before. I like the feeling. I like how they feel when I touch them, for one, but I like them more with a brush than with my finger, and I like using them as like sort of a wash of color as a base before I go in and do depth work, like adding any of this on the outer corner. And this is my favorite outer corner deepening shade of all time.
You're gonna hit pan on that so fast.
I will hit pan on that eventually. I do have pan on, what's this called? Astral Solstice or something? I don't know. Or like Angel's Breath or some shit. It's so good. It's the shiniest eyeshadow ever. So I just want to see like what more I can come up with concoction wise that requires 2 to 3 eyeshadows, like what I have on today is from this palette and Orc Temper. And then I just pulled out my big Mama Jammas from Natasha Denona. I actually, I don't use this one very often at all, even though it seems up my alley. But I do want to see like these like grungier tones. I think they would pull really well as a perfect sort of that one shadow wash base, which I do like every day right now. And then same with the green brown, except it's brown green, I don't know what it's called.
Blue brown.
Green brown. I think I can actually use this now.
I was literally thinking
I'm
that
starting
the
to
other
think
day.
maybe I actually will fall in love with this, like for real, not
This
for
is
glam
not
makeup.
in the correct order, BTW.
No, this is like all effed up. But we've mainly used this since we got it, like after our initial love affair with it for like bridal makeup when we did freelancing. And I haven't gotten, I'm so shiny, much use out of it otherwise. But I think all of these shades, I think I could do something with them. I really do. So I just really want to get reacquainted with this.
So what
formula.
ones are in your project pan?
The Project Pan ones are the e.l.f. and the Colourpop one, the Super Shock, essentially. The rest of these are just like,
Helpful.
I want to see what happens with them if I use them consistently sort of thing. So they could be gone. These are more like a shop my stash, but I wanted to talk about them on YouTube kind of thing. There's no rules. So. Project Panish.
Okay, so I have 2 different cream shadows that I put in my bucket just to see, again, what kind of damage I can do and how they wear on my eyeballs. So now that I'm working in office, we are supposed to go back into office it's still January, but we probably won't cycle back in until around February is my assumption. Anyway, so for that reason, I have been trying to get ready every day just to like make myself feel a little bit like better in the morning when I go into work, to feel less bleh, because I work at 7 a.m. So I am going to try this Denona Myers Color Fix in Exposed. This is the matte formula. I say try, but I've used this plenty and I've adored it. This is my favorite nude waterline color because it's not brightening, and everybody else likes the look of it. On me, it looks crazy. I don't like it. So I'm going to be using this mostly as a base. It does hold up pretty well throughout the day. It's not perfect, but it does the job. Then I'm also going to add in this Nude Sticks Magnetic Matte Eye Color in Hot Stone. So this is like a really nice cool toned brown as well, really. It's more like a neutral brown, but it's just a hair deeper than the Denona Myers one. So I figured I can try using this as a base or on top to mix it with the Denona.
We're not super familiar with this Nude Sticks formula.
Yeah, I wore it once on a date. We were outdoors, but it creased like crazy, dude. So I don't know if it will be long wearing enough, but that's my piece on these. I'm excited to see where those go, just because I'm tired of, honestly, buying Wet n Wild primers. I want to switch it up, but that's my tried and true.
Yeah, she's my G.
For eyeshadow palettes, I have 2 that I'm putting in here. This one is my Ish palette. This one's the one that I'm like, I don't know if it's going to get enough use or not, but I wanted to add it in there because next to this, it looks gorgeous. So this is Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. This is what she looks like. She's gorgeous. I have pan on one shade, which is the shade Super Moon, which is the white inner corner shade. Of course, why wouldn't I have pan on that? And then this is the Odin's Eye Squid palette. We have a full review on our channel of these palettes. They were phenom. I have not used this enough, and I think side by side, we might not be able to tell on camera here, but side by side, these are going to pair so
really
well together. So well together. I think this is going to be...
You can really amp up the pops of color in the Huda palette with this as a companion.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The only shade that would be like hard to put in would be the yellow and the orange, but those are my least used shades anyway.
And even so, they probably kind of go with the peach in there.
Yeah, I think so too. But I haven't been doing as many big full glam looks, and so I think that these will give me the color, but also the versatility, but also the one shadows that I need in my day-to-day life. So I'm really excited to play with these 2. I've wanted to start panning the Huda for a hot minute because I just love it. So
it's really beautiful. I have 2 concealer-ish products I'm trying to pan. I guess I'll go in with the primer first. I don't wear foundation right now, almost at all. I have forced myself to for the sake of full glam looks and trying to engage myself in makeup again, but on a day-to-day basis, I really don't think I need it anymore, and I'm debating decluttering most of mine. I'm with you. I haven't quite left that grip. I like a potted product now. I like a full cream. I love having the usefulness of the Undone Beauty ones, even though the formula is not my ideal one. The way that I can apply it is I'm so much more familiar with a salt tint, than I am a foundation anymore. So having a panned cream product is easier for me. Any woozle. I'm just going to be using my e.l.f. Luminous Putty Primer. as a base most days just to use it up, you know? I like the way this feels on my skin. I love the slippery application of putting this on. It's just divine to me. That's why I keep buying the Putty primers, because I love how they feel. Do they do much for me? I don't have large pores, so I'm very blessed to not deal with that struggle, but I do really like this product, and the Luminous one is good. Concealer wise, I am going to try and use up my Becca Under Eye Corrector. It does have pan in it already.
You panned 3 of them at this point.
Yeah, I think this might be my 4th. This is a product that I can use on its own. I don't need to use this as a corrector, like under concealer. I can use this as a standalone concealer, which I really, really love. And it does correct redness really well, which is great since I don't wear foundation. If I had redness on my cheeks, I can just use a tad bit of this and it's got a beautiful shine to it. And then I have this e.l.f. concealer pen in here because honestly, it doesn't do anything for me.
I like it.
It's fine.
It might not be brightening enough for you either, though.
No, I don't even need it to be brightening. It's like, it has a fine amount of coverage. The finish is fine. It's a fine product. Yeah. That's it. Like, I don't put it on, I'm like, wow, exquisite.
Fair enough.
You know? So I just feel this will be an easier one to use because it's clicky, and you know, I love the clicky packaging. No, it's so fun.
Well, and it means there's less product, so.
Yeah, so it's great.
Yeah, the way I like to use those is to put on a fuck ton of them and let it sit for like 30 seconds. Like that CoverGirl one? I think you still have one. I do. I really want to use it, but I'm trying to get through some of my other concealers first. So I'm really low on 2 different concealers. Anyway, let me go through my primer first. I'm going to use my Too Faced Hangover RX primer. I went through 2 of these now, I think. And I'm getting low on this one. I just want to get it out of here because I repurchased it because I used it so much. And I didn't even realize how low it is since the repurchase, which was probably far longer ago than I remember. But regardless, it's a really good basic, like, moisturizing primer that's lightweight. So I figured regardless of if I wear foundation or not, it'll work. So I'm with Vic on the no foundation thing. I haven't been wearing it very often. The reason that I need to wear it the most is to correct
the fake tan balance.
The fake tan balance, which might not be done well today based on the fact that I'm not wearing foundation. But I figured for foundation, I would pan my Natasha Denona Face Glow Foundation in the shade 42. This is her old formulation. At this point, it's gonna get gross if I don't just start using it.
Is that your last one, or do you have one more?
No, it's my last one.
Oh, yep.
So this is my last one. It's very sad. So I'll probably just use this on weekends, just because right now we have to wear a mask all the time, and this will not hold up under a mask. And I just don't have a use for it for that reason. For my concealer, I'm going to use my LC Complete Remedy Sleek Concealer. Is that really what it's called? In the shade medium. Now, this I could probably use most days as my foundation, so that's probably what I'll do, is I'll just, because the shade is a little bit lighter than most of my foundations, and I just have not been putting on as much tanner right now. Really mostly for the fact that I'm in between a lot of different appointments. I'm getting a big old thigh tattoo, and the last thing I want to do is scrape off oodles of self-tanner before my next appointment, and it's like a whole thing. Anyway, I hate being caught up patchy, so I won't allow it. Anyway, I'm gonna use this up. I've had it in my collection for a while. I lusted after it for years, man. The grip this had on me. This is a wonderful concealer, but you know what it doesn't hold up well with? Tears. You know what I do?
Ooh.
I cry a lot.
That is a kind of a deal breaker.
It is a deal breaker for that reason, which is why I need to get it out.
I need a concealer that will not smear around when I cry.
It doesn't, it literally, like, there's literal streak marks, yeah,
oh,
and you can't blend them back out.
That's the worst.
Yeah, because the finish is, like, super matte. So I'm just gonna get this out of the way for that reason, because I honestly do cry far more often. I don't cry as much now as when I first got this concealer, so it may not be as big of a deal.
I go through a lot of sad scenarios in my head when I get bored in the car driving to work. I drive like 30 minutes, so it's like I have time to be thinking, and I don't want to listen to Charlotte's music all the time, so I'm like, what if this happened? And I always cry. Or if I listen to A Star Is Born, I always cry. So there's that, I guess.
I do cry every time I listen to A Star Is Born.
That's what I'm saying. So I did put together a new salt quad to kind of work on. Mainly I'm gonna finish up contour. I know that I have a backup already, and I will be purchasing, or it's called taupe now. Taupe, not contour. But salt contour. Right here, this is my fourth one I've gone through now.
Third, I think.
And yeah, I'm going to continue to do it. It's my favorite color of all time. It works perfectly on my cheeks as a bronzer contour moment. It's fantastic. Then we have Rose right here, which is another great blush on me. It's funny because I really don't feel like I use Rose that much, and yet here we are with a massive pan in it.
Dude, right? I don't use it that often either, but I love it.
But every time I do use it, I like really go hard. It's more of a combo shade for me. Then we have Beige here, which I will probably finish up at some point. It'll take a while, but this is one of my favorite highlight shades. It's like slightly too deep for me. Just like ever so slightly. So it leaves the perfect sort of bronzy cast to go with contours. So good, so good. I love it.
If you know, you know.
Looks juicy on my skin. I love her. And then this is a new one here. This is Cocoa from Salt. It is the best color on me that I have ever found. Ever.
It's
ever.
really, really
it is top tier. You know why? Because it is the perfect milk chocolate reddish sort of brown.
Kiki managed to mix this up where it's like, oh man, maybe you didn't. Where it's like pink enough, it's not too bronzy, which is the issue with a lot of bronzy blushes.
But it's brown enough, it's chocolatey enough, it's pink. Oh, I love this color. So I probably won't like work to pan this because I don't know if it's limited or not. If it is, I will be purchasing a backup or so, I believe. But yeah, I just really wanted it in there, and I just think this is like so aesthetically pleasing. Love it. Next product I have here is not an item that I'm going to pan, but definitely one that I want to get familiar with again and see what kind of progress I can make on it. This is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. I don't foresee myself using this as a highlighter all that often, but what I do foresee myself using this for is a blend out shade on my eyes, because it has the perfect sort of color where it's not like a really stark shade on me, because it's like slightly too deep for my skin tone, but it has that luminosity, so it'll blend out a shadow really well, especially a shimmer shadow. So I'm thinking I can use it in that regard, and sort of try it there. I could also use it as a like setting powder if I use powder products under like on my bare skin, that's how I will have to do it. So I just want to see sort of what happens with this before I decide what to do with it going forward, because I really do, if we're not using the makeup, I want to get rid of it. You know,
yeah.
Like I'm so sick of having so much clutter and not doing anything with it. So a lot of this product, or a lot of this project, is going to be about me getting familiar with things that I haven't used in a long time and then deciding what to do with them from there. So we'll see what happens there. And then last one is just, I have this MAC Mineralized Skin Finish here. I just need to use this a little bit, and I just have it in my bucket for convenience sake. I normally use this as a blend out powder, honestly, and sometimes I powder under my eyes, but it's very rare that that happens. Yeah, or I use it to set the perimeter of my face if I go on with a powder product.
I threw together another salt quad as well. So oddly enough, my shade preference in blush has changed so much just over the last couple of years, I've noticed, because I think it was that Nude Sticks blush that did me in. Tiger Lily Queen, I see you, bitch. You were a great blush, but when I panned you, I ran directly to the other side of the blush spectrum. I went from peach to purple.
I don't want a coral blush anymore.
No, never in my life. Anyway, I threw together this little quad here. So this is my Salt New York medium bronze bronzer that I always use. I'm not necessarily looking to pan this by any means, but
you've already gone through one. So
I honestly don't wear bronzer right now, which is really weird considering MAC Give Me Sun was used far too fast. But anyway, I don't really use bronzer right now. I'm not wearing bronzer right now. I only wear blush right now. So we'll see how much use this gets. I just haven't been using any. And then I have Salt New York Cranberry, one of my faves, and Spice right here, my favorite.
We got a backup, right?
Yes, I bought a backup of Spice. They did finally discontinue these two shades. I'm unsure if there are still any in stock by the time this video goes up, so I'm really sorry. Spice is my favorite blush of all time. Cranberry is definitely one that I would recommend you own, but not one that I think you need to run out and buy as an everyday staple. And then what's this new shade called? Do you remember?
Sugar Plum?
Oh, Sugar Plum, yeah. So I think this is Sugar Plum. This is a new salt blush. Wine is next to Spice in terms of my favorite of the salt blushes. But Wine has a massive pan, just like my Spice, and I just want to get familiar with this shade. So this palette, again, I'm not necessarily looking to pan. I'm mostly
functional fun palette.
For most of this, I'm looking to, on products that I can hit pan, and I'm mostly, yeah, just using this to like play around and get re-inspired and stuff
This is like
that.
a Shop My Stash project panel.
Kind of. This is my Dior Contour Kit. I'm just putting this in here for reference because I do use this for my faux freckles. I'm not wearing any today, but I don't use it for anything else. This is not something that I use to literally do anything with. Sometimes I'll use these deepest shades
as a bronzer the other day. It was really bad.
No, it's not bad at all. I just don't
wear powder stuff like
yeah,
that.
I don't wear powder stuff like that. So that is my Dior palette that I use for freckles. So that's why there's lots of pans, and I'm hoping to get pan in both the deepest shades. So, and lastly, this one, I'm curious to see how hard I fall in love with it, or if I'm
obsessed with it.
I really like it so far. This is the Kosas Kosas Cloud Set Powder in the shade Breezy. I think it's the second or third shade. So it's like a fairly like light shade. So I bought this because although I don't like to powder for mask wearing, it is unfortunately necessary.
Part of your life.
And so for that reason, I have been powdering. This is what I use as my base during the day. So I just take a fluffy brush and I just like pop it on my face over a cream blush or under a powder blush. And then I spray my face with the long-lasting setting spray, and that's my base makeup for the day. I don't do anything outside of that. I don't even use concealer right now during the day, like during work. So I don't know how fast I will go through this, but I just want to see how I feel about it on top of actual makeup and see how it wears.
I think it's so beautiful. And it is different enough if you because I almost bought this instead of the MAC one when I bought the MAC one.
It's very different. This one is sheer coverage, MAC is full coverage.
I wouldn't call MAC full coverage, but it's a solid medium. Like, it definitely has more coverage than the Kosas when you pat it out, like, on your hand.
Yeah.
I'd be able to see that.
No, not on camera, but...
No. But it's definitely a different product. This is still really beautiful for sheer coverage, and it doesn't add that much coverage unless you really pack it on. Mm-hmm. But they are different, and this one has more kick up as well. And
then I didn't add any salt highlighters into my little palette because, honestly, right now, I'm not loving them. They're not working for me very much. And I think the exact reason this is because to put on highlighter, I use my finger, and my nails are long. I think that is my main reason for not using them, is because it really is a pain in the ass to grab with your fingers when your nails are long in a tiny palette and then you nick the other shade and it pisses you off. So for that reason, I'm going to be working on my Mcgrath Highlighter. So it's got a balm and a gold side. So this is the gold side, you know, nice gold highlighter. And then we've got just like a Vaseline vanilla smelling balm. Now I don't really like the gold side, but I can see myself using it under foundation on the high points of my face and it looking beautiful.
I probably only used this 4 times.
I've used it quite a few times. It's not my favorite product by any means, which is why I'm trying to work through it, but I don't use je sais quoi highlighter. So we're gonna see how it goes. I want to see if maybe I can fall back in love with highlighter or something and see if maybe I can start getting use out of it, because we have a fuck ton of highlighters. What I'll use like an Auric Glow Lust or a Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter type product for like my base. But outside of that, I don't use highlighter on the high points of my face right now. So I'm just trying to get there.
And this is my last product. This is totally like a give. What's the word I'm looking for?
Cheat?
A give? A give.
It's a give. She's in the Christmas
I
spirit.
was gonna say giveaway. I'm like, that's not it. This is my like cheap product. This is just the LA Girl Shockwave liner in brown. I love these eyeliners. I love this color. I love this formula. I love this price. Okay. So I'm just gonna finish this up. We have another one that's already been opened because we lost this one because it got tiny and stuck in our little thingy. So I'm just gonna use this up. This will probably take me like 2 weeks.
These I will not be like panning, but I do want to put them in the video, not only to hold myself accountable, but so I can update you guys on my thoughts on it, because that's what a YouTube channel's about, and I don't want to fucking hear it. Also, you remember that lip mask from Kaleidos that we got, the blue one? We ran through that shit. It's so good. Luckily they sent us a backup, but like, girl, if you watching,
I like it more than the Good Apple one. I don't know if it's just because of the color, but I swear that
the formula is different.
Good Apple's harder. Yeah, Good Apple is nice, but I wouldn't buy it. I would buy this one again when we're done with it. If it's not in an next PR package from them, then I don't care. I wonder if we're gonna get that other highlighter.
I hope so. Okay, so I don't know what formula this is. It's in Charlotte Tilbury's more glossy formula. This is the shade Nude Kate. This is a fairly good nude on me. It is very warm toned, but it is very light. Definitely very up my alley. Not so much these days, but I'm gonna go for it anyway because I want to see how I feel about it. And then speaking of Kaleidos, this is their lip play in Dune, which is a really pretty, like almost mauve-y kind of brown shade. And these kind of shades I love for like just mascara and then like a lip color like this. It's my favorite like deep nude. I don't know how to explain it. But I just want to see how this wears like under a mask. Do I like it? Do I not like it?
I'm dying to try these on the eyes as well. As like a creep shadow.
Oh, true. I just generally don't reach for these because I generally don't reach for a lot of lip product either these days. I have
not been wearing lipstick.
So, I wanted to get that out of the way and let you guys know that I'm going to work on these. We're definitely going to be, now that we're starting this project back up, using our panning Instagram again, which is Twin Pans. I love that account so much, even though we don't use it very often. As of right now. So if you want to stay updated on progress, go ahead and, you know, check out that page, because that way we can post, yeah, so we can post some reminders and stuff and you guys can look through it and all of that. But I guess sorry for the world's longest Project Pan video.
We talk a lot. I think you guys know what you're signing up for half the time when you click on a video, when you see the length of time, so I don't want to apologize for that. That's silly.
Alright, well, we got a lot of shit to say. It's been a long time. So, with that being said, we will bid you a good night or a good afternoon, I suppose. I don't know when the upload time will be.
Maybe a good morning.
Oh, even a good morning. And I hope you enjoy / have enjoyed your day. I hope that you follow us on this journey through YouTube. Again, we will try not to abandon you so much. Love you all. Thanks for watching. Bye.